Okay, cutting across straight to Moscow now, where Maria Finoshina from RT or Russia Today is joining us live on this special broadcast. A lot of attention being paid to this visit. Maria, thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. A lot of attention being paid to this visit of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to Russia. Russia being seen as all-weather ally for India and the consistent ally given the changing global order. How is Russia viewing this visit?
Well, hi, first of all, let's talk about how significant indeed this visit is. First of all, Prime Minister Modi has become India's first Prime Minister to visit Russia's Far East with an official visit and certainly a special one. A landmark occasion in the history of the landmark friendship, as Prime Minister Modi himself described it in his Twitter earlier. He was invited to participate in 5th Eastern Economic Forum held in Russia's far eastern city of Vladivostok. India-Russia annual summit number 20 this year is also held there, and Prime Minister Modi also had a chance to have extensive talks with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, with both politicians stressing the importance to boost and extend relations and cooperation between the two countries. A wide range of topics discussed, a large number of documents signed. Among the most crucial of these topics discussed between the two politicians of India and Russia in Vladivostok is, of course, a partnership in strategic defense and security fields, but also very important is extending of existing cooperation in oil and gas fields. Actually, the two sides are to set 5-year roadmap for exploration, exploitation and purchase. The fact is that today India is highly dependent on Gulf countries in terms of its energy needs and is, of course, seeking to change it, to end it. And from this perspective, Russia is a very great opportunity for India to diversify its markets. Of course, other topics have also been discussed, such as civil nuclear energy and space cooperation. So very important visit indeed. Back to you.
Maria, there's one aspect of the India-Russia relationship that everyone is looking at very, very closely, and that is of the defense cooperation between India and Russia. The American President Donald Trump doesn't like it very much, but India, of course, has stood its ground as far as the recent defense agreements are concerned. Some key defense agreements have been signed, and also in this visit, we know that a few more deals will be signed, which everyone will be watching out for. So how critical is India a defense partner for Russia?
Well, with no doubt, Russia-India strategic relations are very crucial. They are hard to be underestimated. India is the largest buyer of Russia's military hardware, tanks, helicopters, airplanes, with contracts worth billions of dollars, including those signed just recently, despite, as you've just mentioned, enormous U.S. pressure and threats even to all those countries dealing with Russia, which only proves how determined India is in continuing strengthen relations with Russian cooperation, including in defense sphere. Just before Modi's visit to Russia, we heard from Russia's defense ministry that the two countries have settled the issue of India's advance payment for the delivery of S-400 long-range surface-to-air missile systems. It's a very important deal. It was signed, as you just said, U.S. was not very happy with that, or with other aspects of cooperation between India and Russia, but still we have it. It's on the way. We also, before his visit to Russia, heard from Prime Minister Modi that he is keen on technology transfers that may allow the two countries to actually build something together in India for cheaper prices for export to third countries. And we do not know details. It cannot be clarified at this point whether it was discussed between Putin and Modi during Modi's visit to Vladivostok. But experts say that we witness a new era in India-Russia strategic relations. relations moving from, let's say, buy and sell to actually producing something together. So it's very important, and from some perspective, it is a historic moment.
Yes, and Maria, one last question, and everyone's talking about the special relationship that both countries share, and I just want to draw the attention to one statement that was made this afternoon by the Indian Prime Minister when he said, India and Russia are against outside influence in internal matters of any nation. So, given what's been happening in India, and Russia has, backed India as far as the Kashmir issue is concerned, strategically speaking, what does this India relationship mean, especially to Vladimir Putin, who has backed Narendra Modi all the way? What's the domestic sense of this relationship?
Yeah, ahead of his visit to Russia, we heard from Prime Minister Modi that actually defense cooperation is very important for the two countries, but it has gone far beyond that. And we can understand that as you just mentioned, like cooperation in global issues. And we know that during their talks, Vladimir Putin and Mr. Modi discussed their approaches of their countries on global issues. And we heard from both of them that they agree on this idea of non-interference in any country's internal affair from any external force. And from this perspective, we can understand that relations between India and Russia, it's not just bilateral relations between the two countries, but it is a very important duet in terms of international game. You know, both countries' relations, as Prime Minister Modi also stressed, is a pillar for multipolar world. For example, it's a very strong expression, and I think this is what the two politicians have been trying to emphasize during Modi's visit to Vladivostok.
Yes, and we also saw a little bit of that bonhomie on board that ship that tells you the kind of relationship that both these leaders share. Maria Finoshina, thank you for joining us live from Moscow on the special visit of Prime Minister Modi to Russia. Thank you for joining us.